At times we are meant to understand, or we are falsely made to understand, that success is a matter of secrets. And only the few people who access these secrets can become successful. And the people who are peddling the secrets, sometimes they price these things at premium prices, top dollar. Then again, how many books have we bought? How many seminars have we attended? How many conferences have we gone to? And how much sign-ups and memberships have we had or participated in? And then again, how many times have we watched documentaries like The Secret and so on? And at the end of the day, we are asking ourselves, the success that was promised is not necessarily there. Where is the problem? I'm the first one to agree that success does need knowledge. But the question is, what kind of knowledge is needed? That's what I'm discussing in these episodes. So stay tuned for this one.
Welcome to the Life Signatures podcast with Lawrence Namale. Lawrence is a life coach, author, and keynote speaker who loves to tackle different topics on purpose, productivity, and resilience. His mission in life is to awaken all your boundless possibilities available in you. Life Signatures podcast is dedicated to bring to reality every single person who knows that deep down in their gut, there's got to be more to life than this. And now, here is your host, Lawrence Namale.
Success needs knowledge. It needs information. It needs revelation. Without those three bodies, there is no success. You cannot be successful if you do not know, if you do not have revelation, and if you do not have information. You need that to be successful. But we're saying that not all types of information are what you need. You don't need to know every single detail of this world. How many countries are there in the world? How many continents are there in the world? That's general information. Who was the first president of the United States? So how many countries are there in the continent of Africa? Who was the first man to discover which ocean and whatever it is? What is the temperature in the UK at this hour? General information that might not necessarily connect you to your success or the success that you're kind of looking for. It goes without saying. But that does not negate the fact that you need success, you need information to become successful. You need data to become successful. You need to have knowledge of something in order to become successful. Without the knowledge, without the information, you are not going to become successful. It goes without saying. But then, the kind of information that you need is what matters. That's what we're discussing. You need information in a contextual place. You need information in some kind of context. And it's not a lot that you do need. You just need a piece of information, and you work with that piece of information. And as you work with the piece of information, the momentum that you've gathered helps to gather more information and more data and more revelation. And as you keep going, you get to your destination, which is the destination of success. And so you don't need everything. You don't need all the information in the world. You don't need everything that is in Google, everything that's in Wikipedia. You just need a small, specific piece of data, piece of information that comes to you and you act upon it. And I've said it over and over again in these episodes that one piece of data, one piece of information has the capacity and has the potential of revolutionizing your life. You could be living in the dark. And you think that you know, but you don't know. And then someone just spills the curtains of your information and revelation, and they just let you in on one critical piece of information that you take to action and you take to your life and you put it into consideration, and it revolutionizes your life. So you don't need all data. People normally go from one place to place saying they have the secret to this, the secret to that, and so we've been going to look for these secrets. We have attended seminars, I'm telling you, seminars upon seminars, looking for this information, and at the end of the day, we are asking ourselves, but I attended that thing. But I went to this place and I did this thing. I met that guy. I spoke to that guy. What happened? What happened? Probably the data was not correct. The context was not correct. And even if they were correct, probably you did not apply. So we need the information. And it's not a lot of information that we need. But we need that knowledge applied and worked on. Unless we work on that knowledge, then success is not going to be there. Success is a result of application of revelation. That's it. If you don't apply the revelation that God has given you, the revelation that has come to you one way or another, if you don't use Facebook to create streams of income, that's the revelation that is there. You're not going to be successful using that stream. You get my point? I'm saying that there are very many bodies of information around us that we can be able to use to become successful. The question is, are we applying them? The degree of our application determines the degree of our success. And so what kind of information have we been talking about? We've been talking about different types of information, and we got this from Dr. Miles Monroe. The first piece of information is simply your identity. You answer this question, who are you? There is no success without identity. Let me ask you a question, and I dare you, find me someone who was successful with no identity. They did not know who they were and they became successful. You're not going to find. You're going to be hard pressed to find that kind of a person. And even if you did, probably right now they might not have the identity, but when they were succeeding, the identity was intact. So the first type of information that you and I need to have is our identity. When I'm asking about your identity, I'm not talking about your biodata. I'm not talking about which born are you. Are you the 5th born or the 6th born? I'm not talking about which schools you attended, which schools you do not attend. I'm not talking about that stuff. I'm talking about who are you. Can you answer that question with clarity? And the clearer you are with that question, the more prone you are to succeed in life. The second question that gives us the second body of knowledge that we can use to become successful is simply this: where do I come from? The origin of humans, the origin of anyone, determines their culture, determines the expectations. Where I come from, there is a culture. Where I come from, there is an expectation of how life operates, and there is an expectation of how I should operate in this life. And the application of those expectations and the culture and the values of where I come from determine my success. And in a rudimentary way, I can just share with you. If you came from a place where you are told that you don't amount to anything, you're not supposed to succeed, you're the poor, and so on and so forth, even when you become successful, you feel guilty about it. And you can self-destruct so that you can go back to the origin. That's why if you believe you came from a monkey, there's no reason for you to be successful. You thinking about yourself. Monkeys normally think about themselves. In a rudimentary way, they just think about their own community, but about themselves. But if you believe you came from the Almighty God, then you know that you have a responsibility to be the best version of yourself, to be a man or a woman of purpose, and to use that purpose to transform, impact, and create things in this world. And that's how you become successful. And in fact, number 3 is, why are you here? The body of information about your purpose. The purpose determines the success. If you use something that is not supposed to be used in that particular way, ultimately it is not a success. Why? Because it was misused or it was abused. So success is connected to purpose. It's connected to meaning. It's connected to the reason for which something was set apart, the reason for which something was created in the first place. Same with you as an individual. What is your purpose? Find out what that purpose is, and whatever it is you do in your life is going to be connected to that success. Now today, potentially one of the greatest pieces of information that you can have for you to be successful is answering this question: what can I do? What can I do? Now, people ask wrong questions when it comes to this. They ask, how many papers do I have? What qualifications do I have? Listen, the way qualifications are obtained, they don't necessarily answer the question of what can I do. They seldom answer the question, what can I do? The qualifications that people normally talk about, do you know where they come from? They are purely academic, and they are purely by answering questions in an examination. I can as well copy, and I can as well forge a certificate, and very many people have forged certificates. Can they do what they say what the certificate is saying they can do? No, they can't. But I'm asking, what can you do? What is it that you can be able to do in and of yourself? Can you write? Can you speak? Can you sculpt? Can you build things? Can you visualize stuff? Can you inspire people? Can you care for people? What can you do? My goodness, what a question. People who have gone to school look down on themselves thinking that they have no qualifications. But this question is not talking about qualifications. This question is talking about ability. Ability. Are you able to do stuff? What can you do? And if you sat down, my friends, and you just enumerated even just 3 things that you can do, the answer to your breakthrough is available in those 3 things. And I know the reason as to why you are not following those 3 things is because it is totally unconventional. It is totally unconventional to follow comics. Totally unconventional to become a comedian. Totally unconventional to build a career. Of course, we're improving these days, but still, it's very easy for me to say these things until it hits my house. When my son comes and tells me I want to get out of school because I want to focus on comedy, and I know he's not funny, that's when I know these things are real. But my point is this, that it is not conventional to try and eke out a living or try to transform this life purely on what you can do. Gifted, it's already available. You have a gift, it's there. And probably you also have a skill that is built up over time. It's already there. What can you do? What are your gifts? What are your talents? What are your abilities? What is your passion? Lawrence can write, but he only started writing 7 or 10 years ago. And all along, what was he doing? He was pursuing a qualification. All along he could write. All along he could write, but he was pursuing a qualification. All his life pursuing a qualification, and in the meantime, he's benching his gifts, his talents. Why? Because it's not conventional. So we think that the only way to make a living is to go to school and to get a job. But if we do not go to school, we shelve our ability until life forces us to fend for ourselves. We look down on ourselves and we say, I don't have this kind of a paper. I don't have that kind of a paper. We compare ourselves with the other guy who just got out of university with some kind of entitlement. They have a degree, they have a PhD, they have a master's. I don't have it. And therefore you think that your ability is directly proportional to the papers that you have or the papers that you do not have. Nothing can be farther from the truth. Your ability is your ability. What can you do? Don't tell me you cannot do anything. Let me tell you, the only disabled human being is the one who is dead. I kid you not. In fact, we've had very many inspirational stories from quote-unquote disabled people. Helen Keller, blind, but people read and quote her all over the world. Nick Vujicic, born without limbs but inspiring the whole wide world. My friend Betty Ogiel, forced out of an accident and paralyzed halfway, her hand doesn't work, but she's trotting the whole wide world, authoring books and inspiring people and being a life coach and being an ambassador of resilience. What can you do? Start from there and follow through, and you'll never be the same. Until tomorrow when we share something else. Bye-bye. A special shout out to my mentor Jeffrey Howard of Visionary Business University, found at mastermindmentor.com, who has graciously provided me with the soundtrack and the introductory track to this podcast. Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you for listening to Life Signatures Radio. If you enjoyed today's show, subscribe to Life Signatures Radio on iTunes, Stitcher, or visit our website at lifesignatures.libsyn.com. Life Signatures Radio, fresh, clean, and inspiring.